Welcome. In this short webinar entitled Sharing Your Story for Policy Change, Turning Lived Experience into Advocacy, we'll talk about how you can turn your personal experience with brain injury into powerful testimony that helps shape public policy. Whether you're a survivor, a caregiver, or a professional, your voice can influence real change. Data matters, but stories stick. Lawmakers hear from professionals and lobbyists all the time. Your lived experience gives them a face to connect with the issue. When you share how a policy or experience has impacted you personally, it helps lawmakers understand what's working and what's not. Engaging in these local, state, and federal spaces support you in learning about what is happening and support your ability to engage in policies and solutions that matter to you. A legislative hearing is a big meeting where lawmakers listen to people talk about a specific issue, problem, or new law that's being considered. Think of it as story time for the government. Ordinary people, experts, or organizations share their experiences and opinions so that lawmakers can better understand how real people are affected. You don't have to be a lawyer or a politician to speak. Sometimes the most powerful voices are people just telling their personal story. Lawmakers hold these hearings before they make decisions about new laws or changes. They're public, so anyone can watch, and sometimes community members are invited to speak. Your story helps put a face to the issue so that lawmakers don't just see numbers and reports. Town halls are like community meetings where elected officials, such as your senator or representative, come to hear directly from the people that they serve. You can ask questions, share your concerns, or tell your story in front of others. It's less formal than a hearing, and it's designed to give everyday people a chance to talk with their leaders face to face. They usually happen in schools, libraries, or community centers. Anyone from the public can attend. Your story might spark a conversation that influences your officials' priorities. A forum is a public discussion on a specific topic. Instead of focusing on a new law, it's more about raising awareness, sharing experiences, and bringing together different voices, like community members, experts, and leaders. Forums are a chance to tell your story alongside others who care about the same issue. Forums might be hosted by nonprofits, advocacy groups, or schools. The goal is hearing and conversation, not voting or decision-making. Sharing your personal story helps the whole group see the human side of the issue. A public comment is your chance to give input when a state agency, like the Department of Public Health or the Department of Education, is making a new rule or policy. The agency will post a draft of what they want to do, and then anyone in the public can send in feedback. It's usually done in writing, but sometimes there are meetings where you can speak. Your story or perspective becomes part of the official record that the agency has to review before finalizing the rule. It's less about debating elected officials and more about shaping how state agencies carry out laws. Agencies often have to respond to public comments or at least show they considered them. Personal stories help the agency see how their rules affect real people, not just on paper. It's important to note that every story does not have to be told at the Capitol or in front of a committee. Some of the most powerful advocacy happens in the spaces that you already live in, your own circles. Sharing your story with family, friends, coworkers, faith communities, support groups, or on social media helps raise awareness and build support. It creates ripple effects that can influence attitudes, reduce stigma, identify solutions, and even reach decision makers indirectly. Sharing your story isn't just a one-time event, nor should it be. The most effective advocates build relationships with leaders, organizations, and their own communities all year long. That way, when an issue does come up, you're not starting from scratch. You already have trust, connection, and a voice at the table. Relationships are the bridge between your story and real change. By nurturing them throughout the year, you make sure that your voice is not only heard, but remembered. Stay in touch with officials. Send a thank you note after a meeting or town hall. Follow up with updates about your experience. Connection with organizations. Partner with nonprofits, coalitions, or support groups that align with your story. They can amplify your voice and invite you into new opportunities. Be consistent. Share updates on social media or with your networks regularly, not just during awareness months or a crisis. Show up. Join organizational boards and committees, advisory councils, task forces, and school boards. Attend things like community events, city council meetings, trainings, or listening sessions. Familiar faces become trusted voices. Offer help, not just need. Share ideas, volunteer, or connect leaders with others who have experiences to share. This positions you as a partner, not just a petitioner. And meet with your elected officials outside of a session. Be a trusted resource for them on issues impacting people with brain injury. When preparing to share your story, think about issues that connect directly to policy. For example, have you struggled to get services covered by Medicaid? Is transportation a barrier in your community? Have you been waiting years on the brain injury waiver waitlist? Or did you benefit from a local program that needs more funding? These kinds of stories help decision makers connect dots. Here's a simple script to follow. Introduce who you are. Briefly describe your connection to brain injury. Are you a survivor? Are you a caregiver? A professional? Share a specific challenge or a success story. Explain how a policy or a program played a role. And then end with a clear and specific ask or recommendation, like please support funding for brain injury services. A good story is heartfelt, focused, and short. Aim for about 2 to 3 minutes max. Stick to one point. Too much detail can confuse the message. Use your natural voice and avoid medical jargon. Practicing your story out loud can help you to feel more confident. Here's an example of a strong testimony. I'm a mother of a young man with a brain injury. We've struggled to get access to consistent care. Medicaid won't cover the therapy he needs, and I've had to quit my job to care for him full-time. We need better long-term supports. I urge you to protect funding for Medicaid waiver services. You don't have to do this advocacy alone. We can help you shape your story, prepare talking points, and find the right opportunities to speak out. Are you ready to share your story and help policy change? You don't need to be a professional speaker. You just need to care. Your story could be the one that shifts support for a critical program, policy, or solution. Reach out to us today. Connect with us at info@biaia.org or 855-444-6443. Volunteer with us. Thank you so much.